Hey everybody, this is part 2 of Serpentbird activation at Arcosanti in Arizona. And we just went on a little tour, me and Good Spirit, and we're just processing what we experienced. They're definitely making some beautiful bells here, and they have some community. They have a lot of architecture students here enjoying and learning through their program on site. And I'm going to turn it over to Good Spirit now.
This is a really awesome experience. The guy Solari that started all of this really was a genius in his architecture, and some of his ideas are fantastic. Like they're really sound ideas, but the issue is, really our culture. This site here, there's more to it in the final design, but it's designed to hold 5,000 people, and they say that on a good day they have 100 people here. And it seems a lot of the students that are here for architecture, and then there's a few artists. And part of Solari's idea included agriculture, but there's not really anybody here that's focused on agriculture, and so that part of the program suffers. They produce some food, but they don't really produce in excess. They said that their food, they don't supply quite enough for all of their needs here. Once in a while they'll have a surplus that they sell to restaurants, but for the most part it's kind of a negative flow. They don't produce quite enough food, and that's really my focus, is feeding us. But as far as an idea, for a communal living where everybody is working towards a common goal, and then the design, as opposed to like our standard urban sprawl where everybody is super spread out, everybody has, a house, a third of an acre, whatever, roads, cars, all of that infrastructure is really expensive, and it clutters up the environment. It covers up farmland, it uses up all of the space, and then everybody has to get their food from somewhere far away. It has to be trucked in. And this is an idea where even massive cities, I looked through a book of his designs, one of them is designed for 6 million people. And it's, like I said, he really was a genius. He had great ideas for how it would all work, all of the industry and commerce, and even the locations include farming. Even this location, it's not in the camera shot that we took there, but off to the right of the main compound in this view, down low, there is a farming area, and there's also areas where they're trying to build greenhouses. And that's part of Solari's design, is including farming and greenhouses and being able to grow year-round, which we talk a lot about permaculture, and that's part of it. I don't know, like, he was an architect, and he wasn't specifically like a gardener or a farmer, but he did have good ideas, and I can see some of the spaces in the structures could be filled up with food-producing plants. A lot of what you see, the tall evergreens and the olive trees, he was from Italy, and so that's sort of the Mediterranean influence. But there's a lot of spaces where food could be grown there, and then the whole community idea, working towards a common goal. And then it's still, intended to be a city. It's not like we're all gonna work on exactly the same project. There's still industry, there's still commerce, there's still, everything, construction and farming. There's people thinking and people doing books and people transporting. And then this idea, there's no cars, it's essentially a pedestrian city, and in the larger plans there were trams and elevators, and it's not like you have to walk to the top of the high rise. There were plans in place for that. So it's really an interesting idea. It was fairly inspiring. They do art, and they support the program mainly on art sales. There's a place in Paradise Valley called Arcosanti, where since the 50s, I believe, Solari was selling his art, and that's how he financed this place. So I love that idea of, selling art to support what we're doing. I make art, like I said before. I love, pouring my insides into something and making something that looks amazing and beautiful. And I'm into beauty, and I'm into food. I'm into producing our own food. I don't want to, like I said in videos past, I don't want to go to the store and buy our food. I want to produce it. I want to walk out my front door and pick it. You got some more to add there?
I do. I just wanted to share with our viewers that I feel that my role in humanity is to help kind of bridge people. So just in putting out these videos, it's really to communicate to everyone that if you're interested in helping the planet, I feel like the great minds, I was just telling Steve, I was like, well, if someone who knows how to build a mall could come out here, and someone else who's a really great engineer in terms of permaculture could come out here, then this whole place would be, I feel, transformed in a shorter period of time than it seems like it's growing in it has a slow growth at the moment, because part of it is their leader, Paolo, is now passed away. So there's that. And I think in order for us to give you more of an in-depth interview, we would have needed to meet with the administration or the media department. We're giving you a grassroots view, and I really just want to express to my community friends out there that see that I'm passionate about the environment. I'm just trying to share that, I've been to a lot of communes, ashrams in the United States, and I feel the only way that things are going to get better on our planet, and we were talking about this in the cafe, me and Good Spirit, that we have to work with kids. I think I really feel at this point of doing the videos that we've done in the last 2 months that it's really where it's at. So and for me to get my permaculture certificate at some point, I don't know when that will happen, but I'm putting it out there. If anyone out there wants to share with me how they did it, or if they have a community that's centered around getting your certificate, then contact me. So
things keep coming into my head that I think I want to add in. I agree what you're saying. The children, our culture, the older parts of the culture don't want anything to do with this. They love the sprawl and having their food trucked in and sprayed with glyphosate and all of that. And but culture is changing. Younger people are waking up. People are starting to eat healthier. They're starting to question, stuff. They're not quite into that system yet. And so we all need to work with younger people, and not entirely, I'm not stereotyping. There are older people that have awesome ideas and experience, which I love experience. So, we need to work together, and we need to get everybody in on this, young people, old people. But it's easier to teach young people than to reteach old people, and it's a cultural thing. The culture in our nation, is towards urbanization, and this one, it's the urban laboratory, and the experiments that they're running are interesting. They just don't have enough participation, and that's an issue in a lot of places, is participation.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to get people involved. Not everybody wants to go the same direction, and we're not saying everybody has to go exactly the same place, but working together, moving in a similar direction.
Yeah, and I think moving forward as well in the Serpentbird mission is to get people to understand, like, for example, I also do totem animal readings, and I just believe that we all have different powers and different latent gifts, and so I do readings to help you figure that out. And one of my totems is the spider, and the spider is an animal, insect that founded the alphabet. It's an animal that communicates in the greater web of life, and I feel like we have so many tools. We have cameras, we have phones, we text each other, we have all these ways. And I feel like, maybe if the people from the Costa Rica yoga permaculture retreats would come to Arcosanti in a flood, we could just solve a lot of these problems, and that's just one example. I mean, there's already existing structures, there's new structures, and I feel in order to build a new world or a better planet is to communicate. So I just wanted to add that in too.
All right, well,
Communicate more than normal.
communicate more effectively.
Use your genius. Activate.
A lot of us talk, but we don't always,
Action.
we don't always communicate well. So that is something we need to practice, is better communication.
Yes.
All right.
So share our video and communicate with us. Thank you.